Good morning students. I am Anita Chetri, your SST teachers. Now I am doing chapter 2 and your topic is Iron Age. Okay, open page number 19. Hope all of you have your books in front of you. So open this chapter, page number 19. Okay, I am starting the chapters. Your first topic is growth of civilizations. Today in this chapter we will discuss about these three important points. Okay, use of iron, features of Iron Age, rise of Mahajanapadas. Okay, growth of civilization. The Chalcolithic Age was followed by Bronze Age when humans started using tools, weapons and utensils made of bronze extensively. The primitive age that was divided according to the metals. Okay, so the people slowly, gradually they started to use tools, weapons and the daily utensils articles specially made by the bronze. During this age, people started practicing agriculture which led them to a settled and healthy life. They settled down in the river valley areas because the land in this area was fertile and water required for the cultivation was available. So people in the earlier days, they shifted from the forest areas to the coastal areas. Why in the coastal areas? And we know that all the civilization that took place in the coastal areas only. Why in the coastal areas especially? It facilitates for the agriculture. Coastal area which provides and especially water, they provide waters also. So the coastal areas that was fertile for the agriculture and they can easily get the waters also. So that's why the people from the forest areas gradually they shifted from these forest areas to the coastal areas where the lands are fertile and favorable for the agriculture or cultivations. Crops grew in plenty, so they started to grow crops. Besides, clay for brick making and pottery could also be gathered from the river banks. So water also provided an easy mode of transportation both for the peoples and the goods. So waterways, that was another important mode of transportations for the peoples and for the goods also, and it was very easy that time, cheaper also. So they used water transport as a means of transportations. So that is the reasons why people preferred to live in that coastal or the bank of the river areas. Human beings settled down in groups. They started to live together, not isolated from each other. So they settled down in groups. Living in groups made it necessary to have some common rules also. New inventions also came about that made human lives easier and more comfortable. In the beginning, people grew their own food. They started to grow food for their own, wove their own clothes and made their own pots and pans. So they started to grow crops for their livelihoods. Okay. Gradually, methods of farming and tools also improved. So when they started growing crops, they invented new techniques in the field of agriculture also. So gradually the method of farming and crops and even the tools that they used in the fields, that also improved. Soon a few people could grow enough food for all. Others were now free to take up other activities like jewelry making, weaving, carpentry, pottery, painting, sculpting, writings or buildings, underline the terms. So besides agriculture, the other peoples, they were also engaged in these jobs like or activities like jewelry making, weaving, carpentry, pottery, paintings, etc. These stage of human habitations is called civilization. So this is called civilization. Civilizations. This is the important term. Okay, so thus the earliest civilizations developed along the river banks. We all know that, as I explained you now only. So most of the civilizations, not most, all the civilizations that took place in the river banks or the coastal areas. For example, the river Nile in Egypt, Euphrates and Tigris in Iraq, Yangtze-Kiang and Huanghe in China, and Indus in India. So these are the most important river banks where the civilization took place. These rivers gave birth to what are known as the River Valley civilization, and Indus Valley civilization is very famous and important. Now the Iron Age, the period when bronze tools and utensils were replaced by iron tools and utensils, is called the Iron Age, underlined. So Iron Age was those periods where the bronze tools, bronze metals that were totally replaced by the new metals, that is iron. Okay, so the earliest use of iron can be traced back to 2000 BC. The time period of Iron Age varies around the world. It's not similar, so it varies. In Europe, Middle East and South Asia, it is believed that Iron Age began around 1300 to 1200 BC, but in China, the use of iron can be dated to around 600 BC. So the use of iron, or the time period of iron, that varies throughout the world, is not similar. The manufacture and use of iron tools and utensils on a large scale led to the growth and spread of the civilization pattern. So the use of iron, development of iron, developed of iron metal, that also turned new shapes in the society. Iron tools were stronger and more sophisticated, so they helped humans to clear dense forests and expand their area of settlement. So now onwards, they started to use the iron tools, okay, which helped them a lot to clear the forest areas, and even it helped them in the agricultural field. In India, the Iron Age corresponds roughly with the coming of Aryans and the Vedic age, and then with the age of Mahajanabha. So in India, at Est, we believe that the Iron Age started from the comings of the Aryans and the Vedic age. The Harappan civilization, that is very important, underline. The Harappan civilizations came to be end around 1500 BC. The Indus Valley area was brought under the occupations of new group of people called Aryans. So gradually, the Indus Valley area that was totally occupied by the new group of peoples, and these peoples were known as Aryans, whom most of the historians believe came from the Central Asian region. So it is believed that Aryans came from the Central Asian regions, underline. The arrival of the Aryans marks the beginning of new era in the Indian history. So it is the arrival of Aryans that marks the beginning, new chapters in the history, especially in Indian history. During this period, transformations of the nomadic life to a settled agricultural life took place. So when Aryan visited India, the nomadic life was already transformed into a settled life. People left the forest areas, they shifted in the, especially in the village area, especially where they get the water in the coastal areas. So the transformation of nomadic life has already taken place when Aryan visited in India. Increase in populations and subsequent need for more pastoral land prompted the early Aryans to move out of their original homeland to Central Asia. So they also, especially Aryans, also visited India from their original land, Central Asian regions, just for the agriculture only, because India at that time was a agricultural, rich agricultural land. So those who migrated to India came to be known as the Indo-Aryans. Aryans who migrated to India from Central Asian regions came to be known as Indo-Aryans. Indo-Aryans. The Vedic age can be divided into two periods. Vedic age is divided into two periods. One is early Vedic age, and another is the later Vedic age. Okay, so Vedic age can be classified or divided into two periods: early Vedic age and the later Vedic age. The early Vedic age lasted from about 1500 BC to 1000 BC, when the Rig Veda was composed. Underline the term Rig Veda, the oldest Vedas, and it contains 1028 hymns. It is not written in your books, so for your general knowledge, Rig Veda is the oldest Veda. It contains 1028 hymns. You can write, okay, so 1028 hymns. The later Vedic is continued from 1000 BC to 600 BC. So the early Vedic age that lasted from 1500 BC to 1000, and the later Vedic age that lasted from about 1000 to 600 BC, when the other three Vedas were composed. In the beginning, the Aryans settled in the regions of 7 rivers or Sapta Sindhu, that is Indus, Ravi, underline Bees, Jhelum, Chenab, Satluj and Saraswati, that flow in modern day Afghanistan, Pakistan and Punjab in India. So they called these regions as Brahmavarta. Underline Brahmavarta. The areas, the land where these 7 rivers flow, especially in Afghanistan, Pakistan and Punjab. So these regions are called Brahmavarta. To occupy the land, the Aryans had to fight with the native peoples, whom they called Dasas or Dashus. Underline the term Dasas or Dashus. They were the native peoples. These were the early Vedic age. Now the later Vedic age. The later Vedic age is also known as the epic age of Indian history. Later Vedic age is also known as epic age. Okay, remember the term. Later Vedic age is also known as the epic age. During this period, during this later Vedic age, the Aryans pushed forward the Brahmavarta regions along the courses of the river Ganga and Yamuna, and gradually occupied the whole of northern India. So these people during the later Vedic age, they gradually occupied the whole of the northern India. They cleared the forest and founded new settlement there in the northern forest area. They cleared the forest areas and they founded the new settlement over there in this forest area. They turned the forest area into the settlement areas, human settlement areas. The use of iron axe helped them to clear the dense forest of the Gangetic plains. The forest was dense, so they used iron metals, iron weapons, iron tools to clear the forest. So they gave these regions the name Aryavarta. Underline the northern areas which was occupied by the native people, especially during the later Vedic age, were known as Aryavarta, means land of Aryans occupied by the Aryans, Aryavarta. Now the next point, that is features of Iron Age. It is believed that the Iron Age witnessed the growth of small villages and town settlement in the Gangetic valleys. So it is because of the uses of iron which helped the earlier peoples to clear the forest or to clear the forest areas, land areas, which made them possible human settlement in that dense forest. The large cities of the Indus Valley had declined. Man was cultivating rice there, wheat, so they were cultivating rice, wheat, barley, and even they were domesticating cattle, sheep, pig and horses. People manufactured and wore ornaments, underlined, made of terracotta, stone and glass. So people used to wear ornaments made of terracotta, stone and glass. They also made human figurines of terracotta. This was very famous, painting figures terracotta. This period also saw significant development in pottery styles. We already know that the potter's wheel already invented during the earlier days. So this period, this Iron Age, shows the significant development in the pottery style. The painted greyware potter, that is PGW, and the northern black polish were the two pottery style generally associated with the Iron Age. Underline the very important example: painted greyware and northern black polish. These are the two important examples of the pottery. Now the next one is Mahajanapadas. By the end of the later Vedic age, at the end of the later Vedic age, small kingdoms or Janapadas. Janapadas means the kingdoms. It's a small kingdom. Okay, so the small kingdoms or the Janapadas had developed. So by the end of the later Vedic age, okay, the small kingdoms or the Janapadas that had developed in this society. From the 6th century BC, the rulers of these Janapadas extended their territories by conquering neighboring areas. Now they also gradually started to extend their territories. The larger kingdoms were known as Mahajanapadas. Maha means larger. Maha means larger. Janapada means kingdom. So first they had developed the small kingdom, Janapadas only, and later the larger kingdoms developed, and these larger kingdoms were known as Mahajanapadas. In an early Buddhist text, we find a list of 16 great Mahajanapadas, 16 great Mahajanapadas that occupied territories from Kabul valleys to the bank of Godavari. So it is noticed that we found the 16 Mahajanapadas occupied the territory from Kabul to Godavari rivers. These kingdoms had strong armies. The kings collected taxes from peoples to maintain the army as well as to build roads and canals. So the peoples, they had to deposit the taxes, and kings collected taxes from the peoples. So taxes could be paid in cash or kind. They could pay the taxes in cash also or in kind also. Most of the Mahajanapadas were ruled by hereditary rulers. Some were republics ruled by assembly elected by the peoples. The Mahajanapada Vazi was a republic underlined. So there was a mixed rule. Some larger kingdoms that were ruled by the hereditary rulers, okay, some were by the republics only, and some were by the elected representative by the peoples only. And the republic, the example of republic Mahajanapadas or the larger kingdom was Mahajanapada Vazi, V-A-Z-Z-I. V-A-Z-Z-I is the example of larger kingdom or Mahajanapada. Okay, this is example of the, so Vazi was one example of the Mahajanapada. Fighting with each other to gain more territory. So they were all powerful and they tried to dominate each other, and always they were fighting to gain more territories. This led to 4 Mahajanapadas become very powerful, and they were Avanti, Vatsa, Kosala and Magadha. These 4 Mahajanapadas were much more powerful in comparison with the other Mahajanapadas. Ultimately, Magadha emerged as the most powerful Mahajanapadas with a vast area under its control. So among these 4 also, Magadha was the most powerful. Magadha. It was the most powerful Mahajanapadas. Okay, I'm repeating that last Mahajanapadas, rise of Mahajanapadas once again. It's very important. So Janapadas means the small kingdoms and Mahajanapadas means the larger kingdoms. Okay, so by the end of the later Vedic age, the small kingdoms had developed. Okay, slowly these small kingdoms, they had developed into a larger kingdoms, Mahajanapadas. Among the Mahajanapadas, 16 Mahajanapadas were very famous. Among that 16 also, 4 were very famous. Okay, Avanti, Vatsa, Kosala and Magadha. Among these 4 also, Magadha was a very powerful Mahajanapadas. Okay, later the Magadha, it ruled the whole country. The ruler of Magadha which ruled the whole country, especially the southern part of India. Thank you. Let's do the exercise of same chapter, chapter 2. Number A, write true or false. So number 1 questions, the rivers helped in transporting goods and people to different places. That is true, number 1. Number 2, the Mahajanapadas developed in the Bronze Age. That is false. Number 3, iron tools and weapons helped man to clear dense forest. Number 3, correct. Number 4, Aryans at first settled in the region of 5 rivers. False. And number 5, the painted grey ware pottery belonged to the Neolithic age. False. Fill in the blanks. The first one, the river valley civilization developed in Bronze Age. Number 2, the original homeland of the Aryans was in Central Asia. Number 3, the Vedic ages is divided into, the first is early Vedic age and the second is later Vedic age. So it's later Vedic, C, not G, C. Okay, next number 4, Rig Veda was composed during early Vedic age. And the last one, Das Mahajanapadas, 16 Mahajanapadas developed in the 6th century BC. Next one, answer the following question. First question, why did the earliest civilization develop along river banks? Answer, civilization developed around rivers because their water provided places to hunt and fish. Also, as the rivers flooded, the lands around them became fertile. This allowed them to support agriculture. It served as means of transport and also helped people with their daily activities like cleaning, cooking, drinking water, bathing, etc. For example, River Nile in Egypt, Euphrates and Tigris in Iraq, Yangtze Kiang and Huanghe in China, and Indus in India. Number 2 questions, how did the use of iron help in the growth of civilizations? Answer, the period when bronze tools and utensils were replaced by iron tools and utensils is called the Iron Age. Okay, you can underline your Iron Age. So the earliest use of iron can be traced back to 2000 BCE. Iron tools were strong and more sophisticated. They helped humans to clear dense forest. The manufactures and use of iron tools and utensils on a large scale led to the growth and spread of the civilizations. Number 3 questions. Number 3. Describe the early Vedic and the later Vedic age. Early Vedic age lasted from about 1500 BC to 1000 BC, when the Rig Veda was composed. In the beginning, the Aryans settled, settled in the region of the 7 rivers or Sapta Sindhu. That 7 rivers, also known as Sapta Sindhus, composed of the Indus, Ravi, Beas, Jhelum, Chenab, Satluj and Saraswati that flow in modern days, nowadays, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Punjab in India. So they called these regions as Brahmavarta. Now the next one is later Vedic age. Later Vedic age continued from about 1000 BC to 600 BC, when the other 3 Vedas were composed. During this period, the Aryans pushed forward from the Brahmavarta regions along the course of the rivers Ganga and Jamuna and gradually occupied the whole of North India. They cleared forest over there in North India. They cleared forest and found new settlements. They gave these regions, these new settlement regions, the name Aryavarta. Aryavarta means the land of the Aryans. Okay, so Aryavarta, this new, they cleared the forest and found a new human settlement over there, especially in the North India, and that regions named as Aryavarta. Aryavarta especially means the land of the Aryans. Question number 4. Discuss some features of Iron Age. Answer. Some of the features of the Iron Age are as follows. So you have to write in points. It will be easy for you. So number 1. The earliest use of iron was traced back to 2000 BC. Number 2 point, iron tools were stronger and more sophisticated and helped humans to clear dense forests and expand their area of settlement. Now, number 3 point, in India, Iron Age corresponds roughly with the coming of the Aryans and the Vedic age, and then with the age of Mahajanapadas. Question number 5. Write a brief note about the Mahajanapadas. By the end of the later Vedic age, not the early age, later Vedic age, small kingdoms had developed. From the 6th century BC, rulers of these Janapadas extended their territories by conquering their neighboring areas. The large kingdoms were known as Mahajanapadas. Underline the term. In an early Buddhist text, we find a list of 16 great Mahajanapadas that occupied territories from the Kabul to the banks of Godavari River. The king collected taxes from the people to maintain the army as well as building roads, canals, etc. The Mahajanapadas were constantly fighting with each other to gain more territories. So these led to 4 Mahajanapadas becoming very powerful, and they were Avanti, Vatsa, Kosala and Magadha. And later Magadha emerged as the most powerful Mahajanapadas. Okay, last exercise of this chapter is question number D, picture study. Number 1, what is this style of pottery called? Answer, this style of pottery is called painted grey ware pottery, or in short form we can write PGW, painted grey ware pottery, or PGW. Next question, to which age does this kind of pottery belong? Your answer, this kind of pottery belongs to the Iron Age. I am repeating that last answer again. To which age does this kind of pottery belong? This kind of pottery belongs to Iron Age. So hope you all have understood the answers and explanation clearly. Again, you have to learn, study the chapters thoroughly. You will understand, and you will get all these answers from the school website also. Thank you, students.